Here we go, Brave Nation. This bout is 3 5-minute rounds in a super welterweight fight. Introducing your first warrior. Fighting out of the blue corner. This man's a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 1 win and no losses. He stands 186 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 78.9 kilograms. Representing Crow Cop Team and fighting out of Zagreb, Croatia, by way of Kosovo. Please welcome Kuti Begay and his opponent. Fighting out of the red corner. This man's a mixed martial artist making his professional debut tonight. He stands 185 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 79.4 kilograms. Representing KHK Team Bahrain and Boxing Squad Nice, and fighting out of France, give it up for Axel Sola!
He believes at some stage he will take this fight to the ground, but he wants to play on the feet for a little bit, trying to see what the power is like of the Mirko Crow Cop protege.
Sola's going to be looking out for those kicks, and so am I.
Again, interesting. Both guys coming out of that southpaw stance. That'll be interesting for one another and may take a little bit of an adjustment, because in your gym, you're used to fighting guys that are more often than not orthodox. So to fight another southpaw as a southpaw is a very interesting prospect.
Exactly. They're trying to fight at range right now. They're not stepping into the fire. They're feeling each other out because, as you said, this is a little bit of an unusual circumstance for both of them.
Axel Sola trying to come over the top with, he has that left hand loaded. There's the shot. How can the striker defend it? Hands clasped by Kuti. Big takedown. Almost spiked himself on the head. Needs to be careful. Let's see what kind of work he can do now from that half guard position. A position we've seen popularized in mixed martial arts. More of an anchor position now, Kirik. Fighters seem to be happy to sit in that half guard and land damage.
It is. In grappling, the bottom half guard is the single most productive position that's available to you. It creates the most opportunities for points. Here, it's something like half mount or possibly worse.
Needs to be wary of being mounted here. He's straightening out those legs, trying to lock them down, but it looks like Sola's just slowly, methodically taking his time, using the instep of his leg to widen the guard a little bit to pop that leg through into the mount position.
Muffler in place. I like to see that. That is a legal move. Brave Nation, when you cover the opponent's mouth and nose with your open hand, it forces him to adjust his hands and create striking opportunities.
In a situation like that, you'd like to see Kuti Begay try and get to the fence, try and put his hand down on post, but again, just real slow, methodical pressure being applied by the 2-time IMAF World Silver medalist Axel Sola.
There's about a half dozen basic strategies that the bottom player can use at this point. One of them is simply to hold on and wait for a stand-up. That's largely what we've seen from Kuti Begay, although he is starting to strike a little bit.
Nice little pot shot, elbows landed there, framing off the face from Axel Sola. But right now, Kuti doing a good job of sort of maintaining that half guard position, but you'd like to see him get right onto his hip, try and get that leg in for the full guard.
He's starting to do it. Kuti wants to get on his side and try and wall climb.
There's a cut just above the eye of Kuti Begay. May have been one of those snapping elbows we saw. And surely if you're Axel Sola, that's going to be the pinpoint mark that you focus in on. Your hands have to be like magnets.
Human reaction time for a trained athlete is about 1/3 of a second. The movement time between an elbow and a head that's, say, 8 to 10 inches apart is well inside of that. Those elbows can rain down if they're set up well, and there's really no stopping it.
And seeing your blood trickle down your face as a fighter on the bottom, mentally, does that have any kind of impact on the fighter, Kirik?
Mentally it does, but also it's physiologically. If blood gets into the eye, it becomes more difficult to see, and of course you need 2 eyes to fight.
So right now, this is probably the most advantageous position with regards to that cut that Kuti could be in. As soon as he stands up and he's upright, that blood is going to come down the face, potentially into the eye.
The problem, Phil, is that if he doesn't start trying to stand, another elbow is going to land on the other side of his head, and he's going to be bleeding on both sides.
Axel Sola doing a good job of just maintaining position here, not making any unnecessary mistakes. He's winning the fight. He's in the top position. He's opened his opponent up, and now he's just happy to do work from this position.
Kuti Begay has got a large number of options. He can try and flip his opponent over with what's called a sweep, which you're seeing a little attempt at there. He can try and get to his opponent's back. Oh, we got a Dagestani handcuff coming up.
You'd like to see him try and reach over the top and try and get the Kimura grip, because as we say, almost every show, you can use that not just for the submission, but also as a transitionary weapon. Has that hand, does Axel Sola just around the waist, immobilizing the movement of Kuti Begai. And right, oh, you could just, in an empty arena, you can just hear those elbows slicing through the guard. Nasty, nasty work. And again, as making your pro debut, this is the first time he's ever had an opportunity to throw them in a fight.
I guarantee he's been trying this in the gym with his best friends in a headgear for a long time now. This is excellent ground and pound.
Just cuts through seamlessly into the
He's
mic
in mount.
position. And those elbows are getting through, but Kuti Begai doing a good job. Trying to work for the up kick, but Axel Sola just grabbing the legs, may sweep them to the side and comes over the top with a
Clean
huge
shot.
Transitions right back into the mount position, working for the head arm triangle, Carrick. This looks
This may
tight.
be it. That is not the escape to an arm triangle choke.
And I like what Kuti's doing. He's keeping his knee just on the hip.
Hips are dropping now.
Just on the hip of Kuti Begai, stopping him from turning in, and this looks very, very tight. Cage might be a slight impediment. Can Kuti Begai hold on for the last 10 seconds?
Kuti's defending by flipping his own leg up, getting a gable grip around that leg. He maybe
Oh, he
did
taps!
it!
Oh!
Seconds to go. The fight is over.
4 minutes, 59 seconds of the first round. That is absolutely crazy, and that speaks to the type of squeeze that Axel Sola has.
Phil, did we just see a Brave Combat Federation record broken?
That was quite literally, that was the equivalent of, in basketball, a buzzer beater. He had the choke, and literally, with a second left, I wonder if the corner of Kuti Begai were trying to communicate that, but that must have been inescapably tight.
Phil, what we see here is his body collapsing. You watch the hand explode away. What happened was he lost control of his muscles, and he did the only thing that he could do, and that is tap. The alternative was nap, and his body was 99% of the way there already, as you can see. Huge win for Axel Sola.
Axel Sola holding on to his own shoulder a little bit in the cage. It'll be interesting to see if he has some kind of impediment here. But if anything, that just makes the performance all the more impressive. And there's that huge cut elicited by the elbow just above the eye of Kuti Begai.
Phil, I have studied up on cuts, and the position of that particular cut is relatively safe. Few stitches by a plastic surgeon, he's going to be just fine. Back in the gym within 30 days.
Probably a little bit of frustration on the face there of Kuti Begai. And is he going to be lamenting that as a professional fighter looking back on that? Will he be lamenting that there was 1 second left, Carrick?
He had no choice. His body was collapsing. His lights were just about to go out. He barely had any consciousness at that moment.
Nothing left to do, but another first round finish at Brave 49. Carlos Kramer, make it official, sir.
All right, Brave Nation, this explosive, historic night just keeps getting better. This bout comes to an end at 4 minutes and 59 seconds of the very first round. Your winner by head and arm triangle from KHK Team Bahrain, Axel Sola. Introducing your first warrior. Fighting out of the blue corner, this man's a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 6 wins and 1 loss. He stands 183 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 78.8 kilograms. Representing War Dogs Lubliniec and fighting out of Częstochowa, Poland, please welcome Wawrzyniec Badni. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, this man's a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 1 win and no losses. He stands 185 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 79.3 kilograms. Representing KHK Team Bahrain and Boxing Squad and fighting out of Nice, France, give it up for Axel Sola! Your referee is Thomas Bronder.
Thomas Bronder, your man in the middle, draws the assignment. Sola, and as yet, we don't know how Axel will respond to that type of a fight.
The way to shut down a dogfight, Phil, is with distance management. It's the biggest hidden side of mixed martial arts, the one you can't see, and what you're seeing there is a good way to do it. Throw kicks off the lead leg, off the back leg, keeping your opponent at the distance you want, where you can point, pick point, shot it from the outside, little exchange.
Wide stance from Axel Sola, almost in anticipation of the takedown from Bartnik. Nice 1-2, but then eats a big straight for his troubles. Constant movement from Sola. Looks like Bartnik's trying to set up that big one-punch knockout. Trying to set up that big right hand. But as we know so often in mixed martial arts, Kieran, when you go looking for that big shot, it's seldom found.
It's tough to get it. That's all you're looking for, but if you do get it, of course, the fight's over. Now that we saw was a very clean little body shot. That's the sort of thing we need to see more of from Regimens. If he wants to land that big right hand successfully, we also need to see a little bit more footwork from him.
And
he's standing on the outside of that lead leg down. If he can make it up, it's a big moment.
Axel Sola now takes the back rather. Transition beautifully from the single to the back take, rushes Bartnik against the cage.
Very nice work from Axel Sola, keeping his weight high, keeping his opponent down, attack the legs a little bit, threatening that hook. Brilliant fighting thus far from Axel Sola.
And of course, when you have someone the caliber of Brave Combat Federation Super Lightweight Champion Eldar Eldarov in your corner, the game plan will be airtight. Nice work from Axel Sola now, doing enough to keep himself honest and soften up the thigh of Bartnik. Trying to sneak that hook in, but Bartnik very much wise to it.
That's one of the things about being a brawler at this level, Phil. Even if your preferred style is brawling, you need a very sophisticated game in order to have any chance of implementing it.
Bartnik does have one loss on his ledger. It's via decision, therefore he has never been finished in his professional career.
Bartnik so far showing very good defense.
And this is exactly where Sola wants to keep the fight. Take the sting out of it, take the pop away from the brawler. Bartnik is happy to stand in front of his opponent. We saw that in a beautifully ugly fight against Adrian Dudek back in November of 2019. It's the kind of fight he loves, a blood and guts kind of war, and this is exactly where he wants to be.
Bartnik right back to where he wants to be. Let's see what he can do with it. Brave Nation, look at that lead leg of Bartnik's. The inside of it is already heavily reddened by the low kicks, and there was some, from the outside, there was some very solid knees that landed. Those tend not to show, but they tend to hurt.
Nice pop knee there from Sola, just as his opponent was coming in. The game plan seems to be to catch Bartnik as he comes in. Nice uppercut, right, just loaded from the left side, from the southpaw. That's a beautiful shot. Parry with the jab and land that almost shovel uppercut.
Big props to Sola for remaining completely cool, calm, and reserved under fire like this.
He's just skirting the outside of the cage. Tried to come over the top, but more so grazed the body with that kick. Sola needs to be wary of not being dragged into that firefight, that dogfight we were talking about, Kieran. Fires in that leg kick beautifully. Showing signs that he's been refining the striking.
Brave Nation, if Bartnik switches sides, if he goes and puts that right side forward, it'll be a telling moment in this fight.
Yeah, that's a telltale sign that the legs hurt, isn't it? Enjoying the movement from Sola, constantly moving in on that single, trying to run the pipe on it. Nice defense and dirty boxing from Bartnik.
Dirty boxing, dirty knees.
30 seconds to go in the opening round of the second bout here at Brave Combat Federation 54 in association with Galana Exclusive Championship, live from Konin, Poland.
Sola doing a good job of staying on his feet, and 10 seconds to go, and oh, cheeky little elbow, then swinging as Bartnik.
Fantastic first round of the second fight.
That's a very, very entertaining and a very mature, methodical approach from Axel Sola. You forget that he only turned 24 years old a week ago, but yet he's employing wonderful cage generalship. He's aware of the game plan that Bartnik's trying to implement, and he's not really letting Bartnik use his advantageous tools in there. Very, very smart work here.
Props as well to Vojnić Bartnik. He absolutely is showing a great deal of skill out there. We are referring to him, quite rightly, as a man who loves to brawl, as a man who loves to be in a dogfight. But he's showing very, very careful skills out there.
Seeing some of the work done here by Axel Sola. Had Bartnik pressured against the cage, and there's the bite down on the mouthpiece, swinging big hooks. Bartnik that we all know and love from his time on the Polish regional scene.
Next question, Phil. Can they keep this pace up?
Only time will tell. Because you forget that Bartnik, yes, he's swinging hard and heavy, but it's just as draining when you miss with those big shots, Kerry. Sola trying to get in on that single. May switch to a high crotch or a double. Needs to turn the corner on that. Nice work to transition, almost in midair from Axel Sola. Bartnik doing everything he can to post and get back up, which he does. Shades of the first round here. Expect to see Axel Sola crash in some big knees to the thigh here. There it is.
Brave Nation, on an average, on a statistical basis, the highest percentage time to get your back taken is right here as you're rising up off the floor. It's a very, very crucial moment in this sport, and it has to be done exactly right, or your back's fully taken and it's over.
Nice work from Axel Sola to get that hook in. And he's not in any rush, he's just going about his work. Bartnik again is able to get that hook out and away. Trying to break the grip of Axel Sola as Bartnik again gets taken down, hook. Slowly, methodically being worked in from Axel Sola.
Again, Bartnik doing a good job of stopping that hook from coming in. Even at one point in the last round, stopped the near knee from coming down, but that far knee is impossible to stop. He's got at some point to escape from this position, or those knees driving into the thigh will end the fight for him.
But at the moment, all he's really doing is defending. He needs to mount some sort of offense if he has to find, or wants to find a way back into this fight. Again, trying to break the grip. You may see him, I thought he was going to attempt a forward roll there, but partisan crowd firmly backing their compatriot here, Bartnik.
Oh, Bartnik's got that whizzer. If he can turn in just a little bit more, get up to standing, he may be able to use that to reverse the situation. Bailed on the overhook. Looking for a switch now. Got need for his trouble.
And it's such intelligent work from young Axel Sola. Forcing his opponent to carry his weight. He's not forcing any of the action. If an opportunity presents itself to get the hook in, he'll get it in. But right now, he doesn't need to take any unnecessary risks against a very, very dangerous guy in Vojnić Bartnik.
Sola absolutely delivering a painful rain of punishment down. There's some chance it's not going to be quite enough for the referee. My opinion, though, it's significant enough, frequent enough. He's going to be able to keep trying it, and that's what he really wants, is that hook. Once again, Bartnik denies that hook, but he's unable to get out of this truly miserable situation.
And it is just horribly draining work, methodical, constant pressure being absorbed here by Bartnik.
Brave Nation, it sometimes happens that on television you cannot tell the impact of a shot. Phil and I are right here. We're about 2.5 meters away from the action, and when those knees land, they thud. These are big, big shots.
As soon as we hit the minute mark, it will be the longest that Axel Sola has gone in his amateur or professional career. Nice work from Bartnik, trying to get back to his feet, does so. This is exactly where he wants to fight. Partisan crowd here in Konin, Poland, absolutely loving the fact Bartnik got back to his feet. Now he's in on a single. Let's see what the submission defense is like of Axel Sola coming from KHK Team Bahrain. I'm sure it's going to be up to par. Bartnik looking like he's trying to work for the high crotch, abandons it, maybe looking for a body lock trip.
Via Eldar Eldarov, Team KHK Bahrain fighters do have access to the highest level of Dagestani wrestling. Dagestani wrestling is just a little bit better than any other right now.
Nice elbow in the clinch, but that just seemed to reinvigorate Axel. He popped off 3 or 4 big shots over the top from Bartnik. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a firefight here. Nice short elbow landed there from Axel Sola.
Here's the dogfight. Vavjinets wanted. Round ends. Bartnik's face, his body, his posture is showing the effects of all of that punishment down on the ground, all that having to carry his opponent's weight.
Yeah, his legs are bound to be like lead at the minute with the amount of knees that were landed right into the meat of the thigh. Interestingly, it'll be interesting to see if Axel Sola, because he was almost getting drawn into a little bit of that war, that dogfight mentality at the end of the second round. As we've said ad nauseum, that's not what you want to do against Bartnik.
Axel Sola looking the fresher fighter right now, and second by second, I'm staring into his eyes. He's getting fresher and fresher.
Here's the work that started on. There is just that constant, debilitating striking action from Axel Sola. If you're in the corner of Bartnik right now, what are you telling him to do going out into the third, Kieran?
You tell him when he brawled, he had the highest chance of winning, and he should get right out there and brawl, but set it up just a little bit so you avoid that takedown. If he ends up on bottom again, he might not get up for the rest of the round.
Third and final round.
Loving the Brave Combat Federation Club. We love to see those displays of sportsmanship. Bartnik needs to throw maybe just 1 or 2 low kicks. Take his opponent's attention off those hands before trying to let the hands go 100%.
Again, good movement from Axel Sola. He's trying to use his movement to bait Bartnik into that big left hand. Trying to cut the cage off, lateral movement.
Beautiful display here of distance management, using circular footwork, long-range strikes to keep your opponent where you want. You're out of danger, your opponent isn't.
Carrick, you can never accuse KHK team of taking easy fights. This is a 1-0 pro taking on a 6-1 pro on a 6-fight win streak.
And the 1-0 pro just got a takedown. As I said, this may be the telling moment of the fight. This may be where he stays on top until that final bell rings.
Right now implementing some beautiful positional control. Again, forcing Bartnik to carry the weight. Heavy, heavy control. Nice elbow from Axel Sola. Bartnik trying to create a little bit of an angle off his back. You can see him trying to move those hips, but being followed and squared off well by Axel Sola.
Bill, he's got that knee shield. He's trying to get the heel into the hip as well. If he can get the knee shield, and there it is, and the heel into the hip. It's now wedged in. That's what you do next. Pop the opponent back. Try to rise his standing.
But eats a big shot from Axel Sola. He just throws the legs to the side, comes over the top. A little bit of marking up over the left eye of Bartnik. And again, just such a mature performance from young Axel Sola. Happy to sit inside the guard, shift the hips and land his strikes. Axel Sola keeping Bartnik down. Bartnik trying to post, but now big elbows, wonderful ground and pound being landed by Axel Sola. None of it concussive, but constant seems to be the theme.
It's actually a very smart strategy from here, Phil. If he posts way back and tries to throw those huge shots, his opponent can pop up like you saw right there. It's almost as if he heard you and said, no, I can throw the big shots too, but this is a sport where the difference of less than 1 single inch is everything.
You have to give Bartnik credit for not getting, like, guys in that position would try and look for a now, would give up the hook, would maybe try and give up the choke, but he's constantly fighting. He's going to try and be in this fight to the very, very end, Kurt.
You cannot take the dog out of the fight.
Again, big knees to the point of the thigh from Axel Sola. 90 seconds to go on what's been a very, very mature performance so far from Axel Sola. Intelligent, workmanlike, you name it. Showing many, many strings to his mixed martial arts arsenal.
Brave Nation, those knees that are raining down are going not just to the thigh, they're going to the gluteus muscle, they're going to the hip area. It basically renders that leg incapable of fully effective movement.
Bartnik still trying to land shots, and again Axel Sola showing fantastic heart. Like, the work rate he's been able to maintain over the course of these 3 rounds has been fantastic. Still landing heavy shots with 30 seconds left to go.
30 seconds now, Brave Nation.
An exasperated exhalation of breath there from Bartnik.
Bartnik has showed the ability to explode. Whether he can still do it with that heavily compromised leg, I am not certain. But thus far, he has showed the ability to explode off the floor.
It looks almost inevitable now that Axel Sola, for the first time in his professional career, is going to the judges, finishing with a flurry.
Oh, round ends. Huge respect to both of these fighters. That first fight, ladies and gentlemen of Brave Nation, was extraordinarily hard to score. I was glad I wasn't scoring it. This one is not. We're going to see a score of at least 30-27 in this one, but I am not the official here. I'm not the commission. I'm just promising you that's what we're going to hear. 30-27 or more, but it has to be made official. Right now there's a numbers runner. He's gathering up a piece of paper from each of the judges. Then that goes to the head judge. The head judge then tabulates all the scores, writes them down on a piece of paper. That piece of paper goes to the Roaring Lion, Carlos Kramer. Carlos comes into the ring. Referee stands center. Carlos reads the name off. This process does take a couple of minutes to do right. There's been some very embarrassing moments in the history of our sport, not in Brave Combat Federation, but in the history of our sport, where the tabulation was done incorrectly. So bear with us for just a little while. I'm going to use these little moments that we have to extend my most profound thanks to Pyotr Korotkowski. He is the mayor of the city of Konin. The kindness that is extended to us is profoundly, profoundly appreciated. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Both fighters are walking around the ring, but you can tell the tale of what happened. It's written on their bodies, it's written on their faces. On one side, you can see determined victory, and on the other side, tough as nails defeat. Carlos Kramer's gonna make it real.
All right, Brave Nation, what an amazing bout we had once again inside the Brave CF cage. With Galana Exclusive Championship, we go to the judges' scorecards after 3 rounds. All 3 judges score the bout 30-27 for unanimous decision victory for your fighter. Out of the red corner, from KHK Team Bahrain, Axel Sola! Introducing your first warrior. Fighting out of the blue corner, this man's a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 1 win and no losses. He stands 181 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 76.65 kilograms. Representing Korean Zombie MMA and fighting out of Seoul, Korea, please welcome Yoon Sung Chang. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man's a mixed martial artist with a perfect professional record of 2 wins and no losses. He stands 185 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 76.7 kilograms. Representing KHK Team Bahrain and Boxing Squad and fighting out of Nice, France, please welcome Axel Sola!
Both fighters undefeated, fairly young in their mixed martial arts career. Not even 6 months for Yoon Sung Chang, just over a year for Axel Sola. Nice leg kick from the Korean.
Nice leg kick, but an incredible recovery. That drop forward actually powered the hands of Axel Sola.
Very wide base from the southpaw, Axel Sola.
A little bit of a wide base from both fighters means they're both planning on setting down, letting those hands go.
Nice work at distance from Axel Sola. Trying to find a home for that left hand, and again the timing on that kick from Chang is unbelievable.
Axel Sola not giving that kick away either. Very impressive timing on the part of the Korean.
Sola trying to work his way in with the jab, en route to landing that big left hand. There it is. Chang completely eats it, taking on the characteristics of his head coach, the Korean Zombie, just eating the shot and moving forward.
TKZ cage side with us.
That's pretty cool. Axel Sola as calm as you like, just waiting for the opportune moment to unleash that piston of a left hand. Doing a good job of throwing feints, trying to create little openings for himself, trying to get, oh, beautiful head movement. That head movement refined at Boxing Squad Nice, France.
Sola in the southpaw stance, that means his right side is forward. It means both these fighters have to make some little adjustments. The jab is no longer going to be particularly effective. The single greatest thing you can do is, for either fighter, is get their foot on the outside of the opponent's foot. That gives you a straight line down the middle with your straight. Your straight becomes a jab.
And I was going to say it's more advantageous for Axel Sola in the opening stances of a fight because southpaws are very rare in any combative sport. So it'll take your opponent just that little bit to get accustomed to the punches coming from strange, unorthodox angles. The entries into the takedowns, which we haven't seen so far, to be fair, come at unorthodox angles.
Sola just threw a kick high. I'm expecting to see him, once he gets a better sense of his opponent's defense, to throw that kick to the liver.
Nice shot from Sola again. That left hand is paying dividends for him. The cumulative effort changing levels well.
Axel Sola representing KHK Team Bahrain.
Trying to work that counter left, trying to absorb a little bit from Chang. And these shots are landing clean, but Chang able to eat them. This fight has mostly been contested in kickboxing range. Neither man's threatened with a takedown so far. Axel Sola has previously spent time out at All-Star Training Center training with some absolute beasts over there, just sharpening the tools. First time we've seen the action taking place up against the cage. Sola as calm as you like, just forcing his weight upon Chang.
Very subtle battle going on here, but Axel Sola is winning it. He's putting his head where he wants it offensively, keeping his head where he needs it to be defensively, landing a couple little shots in there. Very, very smart to continue to strike like that in what's essentially a neutral position.
Tried the spinning back elbow. You have to respect that from such a young fighter to be willing to allow himself to be that creative in only his third professional fight. 30 seconds to go in the first round here.
Sola may be feeling a little bit of the effects of jet lag, a little bit the effects of a long trip here.
He's still able to get some decent offense off. It's just I get the feeling that both these fighters are predominantly counter strikers. So what happens a lot of the time is when you get two counter strikers facing off against one each other, they're waiting for their opponent to pull the trigger. So there can be slight periods of what look like inactivity where it's really both fighters trying to anticipate what their opponent's going to do.
Yeah, Muay Thai, of course, one of the major backgrounds for striking in mixed martial arts. For complicated reasons, Muay Thai very, very much a counter-striking art. And you do see that in mixed martial arts, maybe a little bit more often than you would want to see to impress the judges, to make the judges' job easy for them.
What you may see is an upturn in activity now that they've had that one round to settle into the fight, to kind of get a gauge of one another, to see how one another moves. And
two fighters have taken the measure of each other. They've downloaded a bunch of important information as to how quick their opponent reacts, how well their opponent can distance manage, what way the hand goes when a kick goes up to the head. They're now given further advice from their corner. They've got a minute to rest, rinse that mouth out, and we are going to see improved fighters in this round.
Both fighters looking fresh and ready to go. Touch of gloves, and we are right after it from the get-go. Axel again just trying to find a home for that left hand. Chang trying to work his way inside with that jab. Both these fighters feinting heavy with their lead hand. Nice inside leg kick coming from southpaw from Sola. That's the thing, the inside leg kick is open to both fighters here. Southpaw versus orthodox. We said Axel Sola 19-5 as an amateur. Went about it the right way, amassed as much experience as you can in the amateur ranks before transitioning to pro.
And the great thing about amateur fighting is, doesn't matter if you lose, it's a learning experience. Now all that experience is being put to use for money.
As the great and powerful John Kavanagh often says, win or learn. Oh, nice shot from both men, landed simultaneously. I like that every time that either fighters, because anytime Sola fires off, you see Chang trying to fire back immediately. That's that counter-striking game that we talked about. Just almost disdainfully shrugged off by Sola. Trying to get in on the takedown. Has the hands connected. We could see a flare double here. Or maybe just try and pop those hips out. Use the cage to bounce off. Beautiful work from Sola. Establish the takedown. What can he do with it? Beautiful lace up with the legs, Kerry.
Yeah, nice figure four. You can usually get it. You're pretty much guaranteed to get one shot to the face off before your opponent manages to escape from there. At least one shot to the face.
A little bit of marking under the right eye of Chang.
Very impressed by Sola's giraffe fighting and the use of his head to gain advantageous position, advantageous leverage. Those knees to the body from this position are a little bit dangerous. If the head drops, that knee inadvertently goes up and hits the head, there can be a disqualification.
Gone high crotch on it. Thought about the big dump takedown. Chang was able to break his fall a little bit, but a lot of the time you see people try and break their fall. Oh, back of the head.
That is an illegal. Elbow did not cause any damage.
That's one in the bank now. He's got away with one. Dickie Larkin has that ticked off in his head that one was thrown there. Oh, nice shot from Sola, and again. And it's this particular aspect of the fight that requires serious cardio. Nice control being exhibited by Axel Sola. Chang trying to create the break, just trying to break that grip of Axel Sola. Good use of the wizard to get back to the feet from Chang. And you forget that just how big a test this is for Chang. Good heavy sprawl, only 19 years old, 1-0 in your second professional fight in your first year as a pro. This is a huge test.
When you're coached by none other than TKZ, you can get great results very quickly.
Again, shelving up those legs. And that's a great hallmark of the fighting style of Axel Sola, is he shows a fighting IQ far beyond his 24 years.
He does. He needs to cause a little bit of impact here. He clearly has the advantage in the grappling department. He's not quite taking full advantage of it. There we go. Boom, boom, boom.
Incredibly durable as Axel Sola. Never been finished as a professional or as an amateur. Again, thinking about that high crotch takedown. Maybe trying to put an exclamation point on the round. Nice defense from Axel against the cage.
The shots aren't huge, but Axel Sola's constant rain of knees, of short little hooks to the head, of small little uppercuts, those are absolutely telling on the judges' scorecard,
yeah,
and telling on the face of the opponent as well.
It's all little wins within the fight that Axel's accumulating. It's the takedown, it's the landing strikes, it's the frustrating your opponent. It's a very, very intelligent, well-measured approach so far.
Axel, with only 2 fights, is showing the advantage of having had so many amateur fights under IMAF.
And obviously that beautiful wrestling that we saw from Axel is informed by KHK head coach, the great Eldar Eldarov.
Eldar also very, very aggressive with everything he does. Case like that, you've got the takedown, your opponent pops back up. If you don't throw any shots, it looks like you tried something and it didn't work. But when you land those 3 little shots to the head, and Brave Nation, we're very close to them. They're not that little shots. Then you win the exchange, even though what you wanted to happen didn't happen.
Referee Dickie Larkin clears the cage with the type of authority that only he can. Third and final round, still very much all to play for. Both men just trying to find those little openings for one another. Trying to find those little shots, just graze the chin to Chang.
Axel Sola, I believe, is up 20-18. No reason for him really to change his game plan up very much.
No, if it ain't broke.
Yoon Sung Chang, I think, wants to go for broke a little bit more. Yeah, reaching out, a little bit controversial. If the fingers are pointed towards the opponent, it's no longer allowed under unified rules.
Again, Axel just trying to land his shots, get in and out of the pocket nice and quick. Always fail with that southpaw left hand. There's scope to land that huge big shot right down the middle.
Both these fighters are coiled to explode with a huge punch. Literally, Brave Nation, if there is a split second of lapse of concentration, we could see a knockout.
Nice head movement again from Sola, but Chang putting the pressure on a little bit more. Again, that left just sneaking through, edging ever closer to the chin of Chang. Trying to come over the top, lands in the gloves.
Sola, I think, a little bit the quicker fighter, and very wisely throwing those shots straight down the middle for the most part. There you saw it.
Beautiful shot with a left. Axel himself knew that that landed clean, but Chang's face completely unmoved by that shot.
Shortest distance between a fist and a face is a straight line. Might not land as hard as a hook, as an uppercut, as an overhand, but it's more likely to land. Axel Sola has a nice little whip on the end of those punches too. He doesn't push him forward, he snaps him forward, akin to the end of a whip snapping.
Take out that lead leg. Axel Sola diversifying now with the leg kicks, not just the hands.
I was very impressed about a minute ago when Sola had he had about 6 punches thrown at him, and he managed to very adroitly avoid each of them with his head movement. You saw a little bit of the head movement right here. I think it's giving him a huge amount of confidence in this fight.
Defending the takedown now is Axel Sola. Chang trying to get in on that single leg. Oh, beautiful takedown defense from Sola. Now switches the position, pressing Chang up against the cage.
Pretty soon we'll see a little...
Oh, and then the trip takedown, and this has really been the story of the fight.
Here comes a shelf, and then there comes a punch in the face.
With 90 seconds left in the round, Sola doesn't need to take any unnecessary chances. Solidify the position, land your strikes, force your opponent into a mistake. Chang needs to be wary of giving up the back, but great work to isolate the arm. Chang was trying to use that as a post. Sola takes it right away from him. Momentarily looked like he was going to try and work for the Dagestani handcuff.
Beautiful use by Sola of his head this entire fight. In mixed martial arts, at this range, the head can become a third hand. You can use that head to push your opponent off balance, to stop your opponent from rising, to keep your opponent's head and shoulders off the hips, where they no longer have the leverage for the body to work effectively.
Straight into another takedown. Axel Sola really putting a dominant stamp to finish the third round here.
Yoon Sung Chang fought very, very valiantly, but he's taken some big shots to the head. Shots to the head are exhausting. He does not have left much in him.
10 seconds to go. In what has been a very dominant round for Axel Sola. There you have it. For the 4th time tonight, I believe, we go to the judges' scorecards. Axel Sola looks like a somewhat dejected figure there. He doesn't look happy.
Neither fighter is delighted with his performance, but I thought it was a good showing by both fighters. Yoon Sung Chang came into this with only one professional bout, acquitted himself very well. I think we all agree he didn't win. Held his own, showed great conditioning, landed a lot of big shots. Axel Sola, I think, was looking for a highlight reel knockout in this bout. It's the only thing I can think of why he wasn't happy with his performance.
I'm going to make my way into the cage and grab a quick chat with whoever won this bout.
That little replay was courtesy of Monster Zim. We've now got the overhead camera taking us inside the Brave Combat Federation cage. There's a tradition in mixed martial, you see TKZ in the cage. There's a tradition in mixed martial arts where both fighters go and talk, not to their own corner, but they go extend thanks and congratulations to their opponent's corner. That's what we're seeing here. It's one of the many great little traditions in mixed martial arts. Coaches also touching fists with Decky Larkin, acknowledging another perfectly regulated bout. Once again, Carlos Kramer, Roaring Lion, is over to my right. He's standing up, heading towards Brave Combat Federation cage entrance. He has with him a card on which I believe the following score is written: 30-27 times 3. Here comes the Lion. And the Lion is ready to roar.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, another great battle inside the Brave CF58 Monster Zim cage. After 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges score the bout 30-29 for unanimous decision victory. Out of the red corner, Axel Sola! Introducing your first warrior. Fighting out of the blue corner, this man's a mixed martial artist with a perfect professional record of 4 wins and no losses. He stands 180 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 76.96 kilograms. Representing Gladiator Fight Gym and fighting out of Brazil, please welcome Mateus Miranda. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, this man's a mixed martial artist with a perfect professional record of 4 wins and no losses. He stands 185 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 76.8 kilograms. Representing KHK, Team Bahrain, and Boxing Squad, and fighting out of Nice, France. Put your hands together for Axel Sola!
KHK MMA in black.
Real interesting fight in progress here. Miranda, fantastic jiu-jitsu fighter, fantastic exponent of the art. May try and take Axel down right from the get-go because Axel has incredible boxing out of that southpaw stance. You can see he's very light on the feet. Miranda, a little bit more stoic in his approach right from the get-go. Touch your gloves and we are away. Look for Sola to use the jab to devastating effect, and looks the much bigger man in there.
Phil, if you put Mateus's fights on a graph, it's 108, 59, 46, then 35 seconds.
Nice kick to the body. Oh, huge kick. Beautiful timing on it from Axel Sola. Sola just so calm in there. You forget that this is only his 5th professional bout. Same goes for Miranda, who's diving on a leg without setting it up. How good is the takedown defense of Sola? Finds himself taken down.
Phil, the takedown defense of Alex Sola is brilliant. We're seeing something even better, though.
The jiu-jitsu of Miranda, trying to get that first round finish. How good is the submission defense of Axel Sola?
Brilliant.
And this is usually around the time that statistically Miranda finishes his fights, trying to work to get that second hook in.
Brave Nation, Axel Sola is trying to stop Miranda's left foot from getting in the hip. He completely shut it down. Miranda now transitioning potentially to a leg lock. That too completely shut down.
Great work from Axel Sola. The awareness, the acuteness he is showing there. And he may just be sneaking his way.
Maybe looking for a Darce choke.
What a feather in his cap this would be. Good work from Miranda to get up, but may eat some shots here. Free him off elbow potentially for Axel Sola if he wants it.
Miranda looking for a back take.
Another big takedown, landing right into side control, and this is very dangerous territory for Axel Sola. Needs to dig in for the underhook and try to work back for guard, turn into his opponent, get on the hip, try and work, maybe even get the half guard back.
Miranda very wisely not hanging on to any submission attempt for too long. Looks for one, doesn't work, looks for something else.
I think he's trying to work for a Kimura here.
Looking for a Kimura right here.
Trying to step over the head, isolate the arm. Decides to let it go. Knee on belly, right through to almost.
In the quarter guard now, half guard, knee shield in place from bottom.
Oh, he's
leg lock attempt. We've got the forearm in on the heel.
Oh, he's trying to take that home, but he slips out, and now he's going to get punished for it by Axel Sola. Roll to the knee bar.
Victory roll, looking for the knee bar now.
Doesn't quite have it flush. May look.
Looking for an inside heel hook now.
Almost has the heel and the arm. Thought he may have transitioned to an omoplata there. Does not.
Toe hold, looking for the... Going back to the heel hook.
This is dangerous, dangerous territory, and Axel Sola needs to be very, very careful here. Can't just rip the leg out, or he could do himself some serious damage. Needs to keep everything as compacted as he can so he doesn't let Miranda extend the hips fully and get the submission. And right now, Axel Sola making things a little bit more even with some big shots.
Axel Sola showing brilliant submission defense there. What Mateusz did so much that impressed me, Phil, wasn't how hard he went for any single submission, it was how well he transitioned.
It must be said, this is the longest that Miranda has spent in the cage in one singular outing. This actually, I believe, is longer than the time he spent in the cage in the accumulation of his 4 fights.
The accumulated time in the cage was 3:28, and we are now
just coming up to surpass it.
Just about to surpass it.
Nice work from Axel Sola, just coming up underneath the arm. These don't need to be concussive shots, but they need it to be a cumulative damage.
Sola now showing positional dominance, Brave Nation.
Doing a great job of just taking his time, and Miranda's not really offering much here at all.
Sola doing what's called a tight waist. You reach around the opponent, reach around the back, hold on to his belly, and this is what you do.
These are on the arm. A lot of these shots are on the arm, though. Miranda needs to do something a little bit more proactive rather than just cover up.
Sola being very intelligent, throwing the shots into the arm. When those are blocked fully, throws the uppercut. When those become blocked, goes back to hitting. All Axel Sola right now.
Nice shot selection from Sola. Good job from Miranda to reclaim guard, but Sola working beautifully inside the guard. Shades of Tito Ortiz back in the day. Someone like Miranda still very dangerous. As we said, a 2021 world no-gi grappling champion. Oh, big elbow smashed down the middle from Axel Sola. Definitive statement made at the end of the round, and I don't know if we're going to see Gabriel Miranda making it to a second round here, ladies and gentlemen. He is still on his back.
Phil, that was an incredible first half of the round by Mateusz Miranda, and that was an unbelievable second half of the round by Axel Sola. He absolutely beat the fight out of his opponent.
I'm so glad you said fight instead of something else there, Derek. Thought you were going to get the full cancelled, but Miranda looking a real imitation of the man who started the round so aggressively. And Derek, I said that potentially fatigue could be a factor, given that Miranda had never been beyond their first round in mixed martial arts. And Sola really, really turned it up.
Got multiple things at play here. There's physical fatigue, but there's also mental fatigue. When you think you've got a submission and it ends up being taken away from you, it's very, very tough mentally, and that happens over and over and over again. But Mateusz used the strategy that's worked for him 4 times in a row, taking his opponent out in a minute at most. This time it didn't work, and this time Axel Sola shut him down.
I'd like to see Axel put it on him. Axel Sola finds himself on his back again. Again, Miranda, like a dog with a bone when it comes to the lower limb submissions. Axel Sola taking his time, methodically working. And this is the thing when you commit your hands to a lower limb submission. Oh, hammer fist after hammer fist. This is nasty from Axel Sola.
Wisely looking up at the ref saying, hey, do you want me to stop this? Yeah, it worked.
Axel Sola almost disdainful in that finish, gets it done beautifully. Axel Sola with his first finish by way of KO or TKO, showing great respect to his fallen adversary. An adversary no more inside the Brave Arena. Axel Sola still undefeated, 5-0.
Great Nation, once again you saw the beautiful sportsmanship that characterizes Brave Combat Federation. Axel Sola was on top, landing hammer fist after hammer fist after hammer fist. If you blinked, you missed it. But he looked up at the referee, looked him straight in the eye as if to say, and in fact it is saying with body language, hey, I do not want to hit this man anymore. I don't want to hit him anymore. Stop. Stop this fight right now. Fight wasn't stopped. He threw a few more shots, and that was that. Beautiful display of sportsmanship and, of course, power from Axel Sola, KHK MMA. You're getting a little look right there at the finishing moment. Axel Sola standing up victorious. Now we're back in the ring live. Axel Sola standing with members of the Boxing Squad Team East. Now getting the solo picture. Soaking in every second. One of the greatest moments in what is already a great young career. With that, Axel Sola moves. Mateusz Miranda showed beautiful transitions from submission to submission. Still seated. Now he's standing up, walking under his own power to center stage. And big man, make it official.
All right, Brave Nation NFC fans, another explosive end. This comes at 34 seconds of the second round. Your winner by TKO due to strikes from KHK Team Bahrain and Boxing Squad, Axel